Be upon you. I want to go through the difference between Rasul and Nabi, specifically 381. This verse alone is going to destroy 99% of the doctrines of the people who say they believe in the Quran. This includes the Sunni, the Shia, any other different sects, even the Quraniyun. I've said this before, I'm not a Quraniyun or Quran only. I believe in a specific messenger to come after Muhammad. Let's get into it. So 381 Al-Imran says, وَإِذْ أَخَذَ اللَّهُ مِيثَاقَ النَّبِيِّينَ, and God took a covenant from the Nabi. لَمَا آتَيْتُكُمْ مِنْ كِتَابِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ, and when it was given to you, آتَيْتُكُمْ, from the scripture and the wisdom. Kitab wal hikmah. Now let's pause there for a second. People will argue here that Kitab and the Hikmah is only a portion assigned to whomever it was, that the Quran was the completion of that. That's incorrect. If the Arabic was Lama Ataitukum min al-kutubakum, or the scripture, that would mean that each of them receive different kinds of scripture. God is saying everything is from God and it is the same message, monotheism. Whether it's Judaism, whether it's Christianity or Islam, they all preach the same religion, which is monotheism. Worship God alone. Remove any other idols in your life. Continues. ثُمَّ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مُصَدِّقٌ لِمَا مَعَكُمْ. Thumma means afterwards. After a Rasul. Now here's the clarity for a Rasul. A Rasul will appear ma'akum, among you, to clarify. Musaddiqan lima ma'akum. Musaddiq is Siddiq is someone who's righteous or clarifying, and musaddiqan lima ma'akum means that he's there to clarify among you. Now people will say this is Muhammad. Several problems with that. One, if it's Muhammad, then Muhammad didn't clarify the previous scripture, whether it's Bible or the Torah. He didn't do that. He brought the Quran and the Quran alone. Quran was a distinct message, undifferentiated in its core message, monotheism, but it had different rights within its Quranic script. So Muhammad didn't come with this. And if the covenant is with the prophets, Muhammad is one of the prophets. So God is creating a distinction between a prophet and a Rasul. And the distinction is simple. A prophet receives Kitab wal Hikmah. Kitab is scripture or book. Hikmah is the wisdom therein. If you give me a physics book that teaches about, I don't know, astrophysics or the radiation in black holes or whatever, it means nothing to me if I don't understand it. It's great that I have the book, but if I can't preach it, if I don't understand it, it's useless to me. So God gave them both, the scripture and the understanding therein. So the Nabi here includes Muhammad, but we'll get to that, God willing. So it continues, and you shall believe in him and support him. The prophets, the Nabi, shall believe in this Rasul, whomever it may be, and support him. How? How would anyone support Muhammad, let's say, now? Right? He couldn't be possibly supported by Musa or Nuh or Ibrahim or Isa for that matter. Couldn't. They couldn't support him. And the hadith goes to say that he went up to the heavens to get the prayers reduced from 50 to 5, right? Or 55 to 5, whatever it is. That's still not supporting him. The covenant is something special, not the prayer. The prayer is something that we already receive per 2173. Let's continue. قَالَ أَقْرَرْتُمْ وَأَخَذْتُمْ لَمَا عَلَى ذَلِكُمْ إِسْرِي, and we took from you, we asked for this agreement. Aqrartum, kirar is an agreement, and God is saying basically, do you agree to this? Isri is my covenant or my pledge. Ultimately, it could also be this pledge. So God is talking about this pledge specifically prior when he was addressing the Nabi. Do you agree to this pledge? Qalu, this is them replying. They said, wa aqrarna, we agree. When God asks you a question, you say, yes, I accept. Their response was terse, succinct, and recognitive of the fact that this is God addressing them. قالوا أقررنا. Qala, back to God, he said, Qala fashhadu wa ana ma'akum minash shahidin. There we go. So therefore you have borne witness. Wa ana minka minash shahidin. I am therefore among you bearing witness. So God and the prophets bore witness to this covenant messenger. So those that want to say this covenant is inclusive of Muhammad and this messenger of the covenant is Muhammad, let's go to 33:7. This verse destroys everything you want to talk about. It goes, same thing, right? Same start, same words, same cadence, everything. It's talking about the same covenant. There is no other covenant in the Quran like this. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِن نَبِيٍّ مِيثَاقَهُمْ وَمِنْكَ. And recall that we took a covenant from the Nabi and from you, waminka. If you're saying this is Muhammad, well, there he is. He is inclusive of that covenant. Waminka. Waminka means and from you. And God clarifies, from you, wa min Nuh, from Nuh, wa Ibrahim, from Ibrahim, wa Musa, wa Isa. And so God took a covenant from all of them, inclusive of Muhammad. This covenant clarifies the difference between a Rasul and a prophet. A prophet received the scripture and wisdom. A Rasul clarifies existing scripture and wisdom. So we go back to the difference between someone who calls himself a submitter, who doesn't idolize the Arabic language, who doesn't create their own dogmas and rules within the Quran. They follow this mithaq. This person has already come. This person was Rashad Khalifa, who was martyred in 1990. He gave us a clarifying scripture. He confirmed not only the Quran as the best English translation in existence, he also confirmed the Bible and the Torah. He's prophesied in both those scriptures. I think it's in Malachi 3:8 or something like that, I can't remember. But he exists. This prophesied messenger of the covenant is prophesied in both scriptures. He's come. He's clarified the message. So all you got to do is read the final scripture, God willing. And not make your own translations and your own rules to satisfy your needs. You need to satisfy God's needs. Peace be upon you.